And welcome to the HI European Market Neutral Fund monthly update for December 2020. I'm Paul Marriage from Tellworth Investments. Well, December's been another strong month in markets, and I think that's largely because across the world we've seen maybe some more positive news on vaccines, and in the UK we've seen the second wave of a new strain, and perhaps the vaccines look like they're going to work on that as well. But also a feeling that perhaps we're looking into next year where with vaccine rollouts we can put COVID behind us and we can look at more of a global recovery play. At least that's the rosy scenario. So, indices end the year in a range of territories. In the UK, still pretty negative, -15. In Europe, more like -5. And we'll end the year with a solid, modest positive return of 3.5% to 4% for the fund. So, when we look back on that first year, I think we can say we're pretty pleased with what we've done. We're very thankful for your support. And I think we've kind of understood a couple of things about how the strategy works. That generally our capital protection has been really good, but we probably need to work out a way of catching rising markets a bit better. And that rotation in November that we talked about last month has led us to really think about the shape a little bit more and work a bit more on our differentiation in the product. December for us was a solid, small positive month, maybe a return to normal service. Clearly, the Brexit deal was a big thing for us, running our funds out of London in a firm which has a UK bias. That's been a real background noise factor for a long time. So, let's not pretend it's all done and dusted, but, we've got a Brexit deal, we've got a trade agreement with the EU, so we haven't got a chaotic, painful Brexit that was always a backstory. As you know from our previous conversations, we've always been quite confident there would be a deal, and we always thought there'd be lots of noise, and then the deal was exactly how we expected it. I think now we're going to get a bit more focus on some of the nuances of a Brexit deal, where some of the issues are going to be. So that could create some rocky moments, I think, going into the new year. But overall, that Brexit deal was good news for the fund, I think. And if you look at what happened in the portfolio, we had some good UK winners on the back of that, particularly this month. I think also we've seen good M&A. We saw another higher bid coming in for G4S, which was good for the strategy. And we'll see more M&A, I think, next year, because clearly there have been people who've been brave and taken on that Brexit risk, and there'll be other buyers who are waiting in the wings that might now come out and play ball. Our stronger names in Europe were quite esoteric, actually, I think. We did well in EDP Renovables, which is a renewables company in Portugal that's been a really strong performer for us. Evolution Gaming, a Swedish gaming technology business. Again, I guess these are all pretty solid thematics, aren't they? People want to buy more green energy. Investors want more green stocks. People are staying at home and playing online casinos rather than going to real ones. So, that all kind of makes sense. Some of the value plays, again, were good, like Peugeot and Melrose. Melrose does well on vaccine opening because of its aero exposure. And Peugeot has got the Fiat transaction where people are expecting some good synergies, and there's also been a solid recovery play. I think the painful parts of the book, clearly the shorts largely, in a rising market, are reopener shorts. People are taking a really long view. So any good vaccine news was good for kind of reopener shorts. So things like SSP, Greggs, Intercontinental Hotels, they've been tough shorts this month. And so overall, I think if we look at December, we're relatively pleased with how things were. They were more like every other month we had this month, apart from November, i.e. solid, kind of grinding out modest returns. Very much what we're trying to do in this market neutral strategy. So looking into next year, I think we've seen so much this year that we're quite confident that we can navigate most market conditions. I think a lot of credit goes to Fred Batois and his work this year, really adapting quickly and working within the constraints of the strategy to make sure we can deliver solid positive returns. Next year I think we're looking at more fiscal stimulus, low yields globally, and hopefully some sort of economic recovery on the back of vaccine. You sort of think that combo is quite good for equities. I think perhaps there's a risk the market runs a bit, gets a bit overbought, has a wobble, and then we see whether there's a real recovery in the second half. So there's a kind of shape that we're thinking about. again, thinking a little bit about whether there's going to be different opportunities in the UK, and looking at some of those as we enter the year. One of the best things we had this month, in fact, was a UK IPO called Bytes Group, and maybe doing a little bit more of that kind of stuff is something we'll come back to you about next year. So overall, positive 2020 in a really horrible and difficult year for us all, and we go into 21. Lots of options open, pretty confident that we can deliver again. So thank you very much for your support of the strategy this year, our first year at Tolworth Investments for the strategy, and we all hope you have a fantastic new year, and 2021 is a good year for us all. Thanks a lot. Cheerio. Happy New Year.